This seminar was recorded in Chicago, Illinois on Saturday, the 7th day of September of the year 2019. We want to talk about what you're feeling about this, because we have never worked so hard to get someone in the chair.
Okay, how I feel about this is that when I look at this person who appears to be suffering, I see the wholeness and the beauty of who she is.
We know you want to, but we don't believe you yet. We know that's what you want to do, but that clarity is not within you. If that clarity were within you and we point in your direction, there would have been such a connection between you and us that everything else would have been obliterated around you. Jerry used to tell the story that when you are clear about what you want, and he used the example of walking through an airport. Try it sometime. Esther plays it all the time. So you're walking through an airport and you're just sort of drifting, a crowded airport, and people just kind of bump you, and you're stopping frequently to wait for it to clear, and then you're looking for an end run where you can get around somebody. Or you can be very clear about where you're going and be moving in that direction. It's like the seas just part for you. It's like everyone becomes a cooperative component to your intentionality. Well, that intentionality, it isn't a determination, as we were talking about in our first conversation. It's not determination, in other words, me using my powerful mind and my invincible being to make things happen. It's me connected with source energy, who knows what my intention is, who is able to influence everything that's going on around me, because one who's connected to the stream is more powerful than a million who are not. If you are able to connect with who you are, then your power of influence is mighty. But if you're letting what you're observing, especially with someone who you care about so much, if you're letting what you are observing be the basis for your vibration, even though you say words that sound good and you say words that you really want to feel and mean, because you haven't made that jump, you haven't harnessed that connection, and so you're not more powerful than millions who are not, and you can tell it by the ongoing concern and discomfort that you're feeling. You got to feel the desire before you can influence it. So it works like this. Just relax, you're going to hear this, because you're not far off of this at all. We are so enjoying your receptivity. This is a wonderful thing that's happening here. You know how we began today talking about your inner being and the point of attraction that your inner being has, and you and the point of attraction that you have, and that those 2 points of attraction really equal how you feel. The more in harmony you are with your inner being, the more glorious you feel, and the more resistant you are, the less wonderful you feel. But there's another thing to know about that. The more in harmony, then the more you've joined that point of attraction. So that when you join your inner being's point of attraction, that's when it really looks like the universe is just knocking itself out just for you, just for you, just for you, just for you. That is such a powerful point of attraction. And so in like manner, when you are focused upon someone you care about and you're under the influence of what they're living, then they're kind of controlling what's going on, and you're sort of a cooperative component to what you don't want, and your emotions indicate that. But if you've gotten out ahead of it, if you've meditated, if you've segment intended, if you've daydreamed, if you've quieted your mind, if you've distracted yourself from the details of that enough that you are beginning more and more to tune to who you really are, so that you're standing on this subject with your inner being and what your inner being knows now, because you're human and you can be seen and you can be felt and you can be heard. The words that come out of your mouth carry a vibrational stream with them. So there's a different stream that comes out of your mouth when you're tuned in with your inner being than comes out of your mouth when you're tuned into the problem. So you've joined your inner being in the solution, not the problem, and you're more powerful than millions who are not. And now you can be witnessed by someone else in the same way that your inner being has gathered you up. You can gather them up. That's what the power of influence is. But you can't fake it. Lip service doesn't get it. It's like when your gas gauge says empty, you don't put a happy face sticker over it because you don't want to face it. Oh no, my gas gauge isn't empty. It's not empty. It's not empty. See, it's happy face on it. Till you run out of gas, and then you peel it off and you go, oh yeah, it was empty. I just didn't let myself know it. And so if you want to help somebody, you got to get feeling really good about where they are, which means you got to look at this part of them, not this part of them. When you look at the solution, When you look at the wholeness, you used those words, but the words weren't backed up by vibrational expectation, you see. So that's the basis of it. Everyone got it, yeah? Don't let people talk you in to responding to their problems. Don't let your observation of their problems be the basis of your vibrational offering, because you won't help them, and then they're the reason that you're not in alignment with who you really are.
So if somebody is thinking that the only solution they have is to maybe exit this life.
Again, we don't want to talk about them. We only want to talk about you.
Okay. But so
yeah,
what you're
so that
saying,
person just scared the fire out of you. That person said something so dramatic that you can't stop thinking about it, but you gotta.
because that doesn't serve them or me.
Yeah. We know how difficult it is because you all have trained each other. You've been controlling each other with all kinds of well-meaning manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
When someone's really hurting, they want solution, and they want it from you, and they want it now, but they can't get it from you because you're not the source of it for them, unless you are. If you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, if you know who this person is, if you know the power of their being, if you know where they're going, if you know what's in their vortex, which your inner being will help you to know, you've just got to decide which part of them you're going to make your object of attention. We had a conversation similar to this, not this intense, not this productive, not this valuable, not this big, not this dramatic, with a mother some years ago. And she said, when we were encouraging alignment and then attention, not attention without alignment, well, won't my son feel that I am forsaking him? And we said, well, how could anyone feel like they're being forgotten or like they're not important when you're focused unequivocally on the wholeness of who they are and reflecting the beauty of that back to them constantly? In other words, when you know what you know, if you had some illness dripping from your body and you showed up in a doctor's office and the doctor went, oh my God, that does not instill confidence. That's not the doctor that you would say, can you help me? He's afraid of you. But if you see someone who says, yeah, that's good, seen it before, confident in your well-being. Most doctors are not all that confident in your well-being because your illnesses have trained them into negative expectation. But you get our point.
How can somebody who is under the influence of medication regain clarity and connection?
Are you under the influence of medication?
I am not.
Then that question is off limits right now.
Okay.
That question is none of your business, and neither is the answer, because we keep talking to you about your influence and you keep looking back at what's going on. So far you haven't heard anything we've said. Well, you've heard it, but it's not registering with you, and it's all right. We get why.
Well, I'm feeling like if I don't get these answers, then I'm letting them down.
Well, you know, often in a gathering like this, if there's someone, as we're using this word deliberately, as sort of balled up in resistance as you are about this, we wouldn't call you forward because of the struggle of the explanation, but because of the willingness of this group, and because lots of them have similar things going on, but most important, because of the power of your desire. You light it up even with the resistance all around you. Instead of being bright gold, which is what Esther usually sees, you were green, but you are the brightest green that she has ever seen. Now, this is just Esther's interpretation. So she was compelled there, couldn't get her eyes off of you, couldn't not keep pointing there, because the desire is so strong, even though the resistance is strong too, as is evidenced by this conversation. Well, that's something worth taking away today. You're getting these answers, you're just not quite ready to let them in, because for some reason you've decided, a lot of people do, you've decided to blame yourself for where this person is. You feel like this is your last chance to help, and your attitude is, and if I'd been better along the way, then this wouldn't be at this situation, and this had nothing to do with you. This is not something that you must overcome. This is something that your life experience that you want to overcome. You've put so much in your vortex about the happiness and well-being of this person that that's all your inner being sees. And this temporary disconnect, we're talking about yours, not theirs. What we want you to hear from us is you can find connection while that's going on. You can find connection while that's going on. You can find connection while that's going on. You can find distraction from that while that's going on. Now, it doesn't feel like it because it's the only thing you think about. It's what you think about when you wake up. It's what you think about all day. It's what you think about when you go to bed. You're obsessed with it. And we get why. We get why, but you're obsessed with it from a vibrational place that isn't helping, and it's depleting you to the point that you're green.
Right. Thank you. I love you so much.
At least you're lighting up.
I know, right?
Don't underestimate that. You're not bored with this conversation, are you? Don't you all know? Can't you feel when you really want something? And can't you tell? Can't you feel when you're on the wrong end of the stick of something that you want? And don't you just want to demand of the universe that they make you an exception? But the law of attraction won't make you an exception. And so the power of your desire, you've just got to work it around a little bit, and it'll get a little bit better every day. And you've got time for this. There's so much that we can see here that we aren't concerned, and you've got to reach that place too. But in all fairness to you, we're never concerned about anything. We just trained ourselves that way. We just don't look there. We just don't look there because it doesn't help. We don't look there because the bigger part of you and the object of your attention is here. You've just got to know that. But that's that trust. And every day as you gather information that frays at the ribbons of your trust, it doesn't help you. So you've got to find some way of separating yourself a little bit from that. A book that you can write in will help you a lot. And writing positive aspects of things, especially off that subject, will help you a lot. It's like when you pick up this stick that says my desire for this person and my fear about my desire for this person. In other words, every stick is two subjects. Put the stick back in the pile and realize that there are a whole lot of sticks in that pile. And every time you pick that one up, you go to the wrong end because you care too much, because you're off on the wrong foot on it, and it's not going to get better picking up that stick easily. You made some progress here, but the entire universe is focused with you, and you were still stubborn. We loved how this came about. We almost had to leave the stage and go bodily bring you to the stage. But in that pile of sticks, there are a whole lot of other sticks in that pile that you do have the ability to pluck up and focus on. And a lot of those sticks you already feel good about. Can you name some of those subjects where you have no worries? In the same way that this subject calls you that way, can you tell us any other subject that easily calls you this way?
Actually, the thing that I find most pleasure in is my fairy garden. And the story that kind of evolved from that, and it's changed my perspective and how I live my life.
All right, that's one thing. What else?
The knowing through this fairy garden.
Yeah, but
that
we're looking for subjects. We're looking for subjects.
My connection to source.
That's a good one.
Oh, my granddaughter, who totally keeps me connected to my source.
Doesn't keep you connected. You stay connected. Is your granddaughter keeping you connected because she offers conditions that make you conditionally connect?
She offers unconditions.
Is it her doing or yours?
I think it's ours.
Is it easy for you to feel good when you think about her?
Oh, instantly I feel
And
good.
do you need to be with her to feel that way?
No, I do not.
Then it's you.
Then it's me, okay.
So
Right.
You have the ability to focus on that. Every time you pick that stick up, you feel good. Every time?
Every time.
Every time. So that would be a really good thing to focus on, because focusing on that in no way diminishes your attention to the other. It just puts you in a position where when you're in the forest and the tree falls, you'll hear it.
Right, got it.
Anything else? Any other sticks in the pile?
Of course. Well, my family.
Of course, she says. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. My twin sister.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh, my dog, my gardens, my flowers. Just breathing in the fresh air, going for my walks.
See what's happening? See where she is now? And so off the subject, you tuned right in. And off the subject, impulses will come to you. And when those impulses come, follow them, because those will be very beneficial to you impulses. And then just enjoy watching the unfolding of this. You just got all your power back. But you got your power back by reaching for